All right, so for this example, we're going to be using the VLOOKUP function and the HLOOKUP function. And if many of these examples, they don't tell you how to create a lookup table. So if you look at this table over here, the student grades, you're given ranges for the letter grade, but you don't actually, that's not a lookup table because you need to make it different for it to be able to find the value when we want to use the VLOOKUP function here. The way that we want to do this is you're going to type in here the number that it starts with. So like the number that the range starts with. You're going to type in 0, and then since we're using percentages, we're just going to type this in percentage, so 0.5. And once we have filled out all of our values here, as you can see, it's whatever the range starts with, but in percentage, we are going to be using the VLOOKUP function to figure out which letter grade every student gets based on their final mark and percentage. You can type in equals VLOOKUP. And the way we do this is the first thing you're going to put in parentheses is going to be the value that you know. That's going to be the 63% here. And then you want to do the table array. So where is your information? And we're going to select the table over here, so lookup table. And then we're going to click F4. That way that doesn't get moved. Because if we didn't click that, then at one point it's just going to start moving down. At one point it's not going to have any values, and it's not going to work for this function. And then the next thing you want to put in the formula is the number of the column that your result is going to be in. So that's going to be column 2 for this example. And then for over here, you can type in true for an approximate match, which is just going to be the range, or you don't have to type in anything. It's automatically going to be looking up for a range. But let's say we type in true and we hit enter. Okay, and that's, as you can see, it's 63% would be between 65 and 69. So that would be, I'm sorry, between 60 and 64. So that would be C grade. And then if we drag this down, it's going to autofill for all of our values. All right, so for our next example, we want to find out is the income tax rate depending on the salary that every person here has. So for that, we are going to be using also the lookup function. Okay. So we're going to type in equals VLOOKUP, and your lookup value is going to be this one over here. Table array is going to be this table here. And you have to include the headers of the table. And then we press F4. Column that we want our answer to be, it's going to be in column 2. And then we just type in enter. Again, since that's the range, we're just gonna drag it down. And since that's the range, you don't have to actually add the true or false there. All right, so for the next example, this is an exact match. So it's not a range. It's gonna be just a little bit different. I'm gonna type in equals VLOOKUP. And then again, your lookup value is going to be what we have, so single. And then your table array is going to be this one over here. We press F4. Your column is going to be column number 2. And then for this one, we're going to be using true for approximate, false for exact match. Okay, and then we press enter and we drag it down. As you can see, 55 for the single plan, then family plus is going to be 70, so that's all matching. All right, the next example, this one, we just want to find out which bonus we get depending on how many years these employees have been on the company. So we're going to type in equals VLOOKUP. And our lookup value is going to be the years. So that's what we know. A table array is going to be this one over here. And it's already named table 1, so you don't have to do the F4 key to log anything down. You can just click on table 1. And then for the column, it's going to be column 2. And we don't want range. Well, actually, sorry, we do want the range, so we can just leave it like this. And then we hit enter. And we're just going to drag it down. And if you can see that still says table 1, it didn't move anything down. So we are all good with that. And we're going to be using the HLOOKUP. And this one is really similar. You're just looking at rows instead of columns. So for this one, the assistant wants to keep track of the contact information for all of her employees because she's highly organized like that. Help her enter the HLOOKUP formula so that it returns the phone number from the contact information cell range using an exact match for the region in column B. So we're going to type in equals HLOOKUP. And our lookup value is going to be the west, north, east, south. And so this cell over here, A4, and the table array is gonna be this. Oh, you want to start here? This value is over here, and then the row that we want in return, it's gonna be the third row of this array, and then you want to use exact match. And then we hit enter. Then once you autofill it, oh, we did something wrong here. Okay, so see how we didn't use the F4 for this one, for the table array? That's why this is not working, because it basically moved down one cell for our values per table array. So we're gonna change this real quick. Just, you can just click at the end of it and press F4. And then for this cell, F4, and then you're gonna hit enter, and then let's drag it down again to see what happens. And okay, that's perfect. So it didn't move the range over there. All right, and our last exercise, this one is, okay. So we're gonna, it says for task 1, it says enter an if formula in cell E6 that displays the following rate codes. If the rate description is regular, it's 1, and 2 if it's evening, 3 if it's the weekend. All right, so for this one, using the if function, it's gonna be a little bit long. We're gonna type in equals if, actually, because we have many logical tests. So if this cell equals this cell, then we want to return this code. Now, for the second logical test is the same cell, and then if it equals evening, then it's the second code. And our third logical test is if B6 equals this cell for the weekend, then our code is going to be 3. And then we hit enter, and okay, that's gonna be right there. We're just gonna autofill it. Okay, and same thing happened here. Just keep doing this. So for this, we want the F4 here, and then F4 for this one, and F4 for this one. Basically, all of our values. Okay, except for the basics. And then we hit enter. Okay, and then we're gonna try this again. Okay, perfect. So that is all good. As you can see, weekend is gonna be your code 3 and so on. Now we're gonna be doing the same, but with the VLOOKUP function. It's gonna be way easier. I'm gonna type that equals VLOOKUP. And then our lookup value is gonna be this one. And then your table array is gonna be this one over here, and type in F4 so we don't move that down. Column is gonna be 2. And then we want exact match. So we're just gonna do false and hit enter. And we have that. And drag it down. And as you can see, this numbers all match, but it's just a different way of looking it up. And personally, I think it's much easier. And then we're going to be doing the same VLOOKUP function, but for the rate. We're going to click equals VLOOKUP. And then our lookup value, let's say it's still going to be this one. Table array is going to be this one. And then F4, so it looks it down. And then our column number, it's going to be 3. So it's not always going to be just 2 columns, as you can see in this example, 3 columns. So that's, you want to put the number there, the number of the column that your result is in, basically. And then we're going to be doing an exact match, and then hit enter. And then we're going to autofill it. And that is all perfect.